Guys, Deluded Guna, you choosing Golo Kante. Thank you very much for the questions. As usual, man. Friday, Q&A day. I've waited and waited. You've hit me up on Snap. You emailed me. You've done everything to ask me questions. Thank you very much, people, and it means the world, man. So without further ado, let's crack on. Some good questions, man. Oh, I forgot to show you, Some good questions. Let's start from... let's start from the top up. So, yeah. Ryan asks his thoughts on waist training clothing. Well, I assume you mean, at least to my knowledge, waist trainers, like predominantly females, they get that well, it's a waist trainer. I don't know any other way to describe it. You tighten it and it can improve and I say improve lightly, it improves your curves or whatever it does in it. I don't know for that. But, I mean, if someone wasn't feeling confident in themselves or however they feel and they want to do that, I don't necessarily agree with it. But who am I to tell them they can't do that? And if it makes them happy, it makes them happy. Personally, I see it as an unhealthy, and I see it as a bit of a cheat sheet. And I believe it's unhealthy for everybody nowadays with social media, but especially for young girls. I mean, you're seeing people are having gym bodies, but they're not going gym. They're going and getting surgery, and they're not telling young girls that. They're showing young girls that they're having this unhealthy diet, eating like 2 pieces of chewing gum every day and drinking bare water, and that's gonna make your body better. And all these sort of things. You got the tummy tea or whatever it is. All of these sort of things that are unhealthy, and it's being endorsed by people that have had surgery to make them like that, and it's unhealthy for females. Some females call for one. You obviously want to, whether you want to or not, male and female, we want to be liked or be the guy or be something, innit? If you look at them bodies there, them unrealistic bodies I'm speaking about, and yours doesn't look like that, you're going to feel some sort of way. You're going to feel you're unattractive, etc., etc. Not all, but some. And I don't agree with that. Like I said, if it brings people confidence, then they can do their thing. But that's just my 2 pence on it. Shiz asks if we get a goalkeeper, defensive mid, and a centre-back, what is our best formation? Well, bro, regardless of the personnel or whoever, you should as a football team, I honestly believe 2/3, in fact, positions that your team is able to play at will, change at a whim in a match. Look at Spurs, not to gas up Spurs, but Pochettino, okay, they need to win titles, but they can play 4-2-3-1. They ain't really done it, but they could force 4-3-3. They obviously can play 3 at the back, and you can interchange in games, so you could do things like that. I mean, regardless of if upgrades come or not, I'm trying to hear 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1. But if we're gonna get 4-2-3-1, we need someone that's competent in midfield. With that our existing players need to become competent. Whether it would be Xhaka and Ramsey, Wilshere and Ramsey and someone else. Regardless of the pairing, we always see isolation with the pivot. Now you look at the likes of Modric and Toni Kroos. Obviously different brackets in terms of players, but fundamentally their positional sense and all of these things are there first and foremost, so they're able to do what they do, if you get what I mean. So regardless, it's got to be 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1. If we actually got a centre half and a proper midfielder, 3 at the back should actually be ran, and some proper coaching at this club. But we all know that's a myth. So yeah. Tariq asks, my guy, would the quality/prestige of Europa League be enhanced if only the top 2 from each league qualified for champs? Obviously, for those who don't get the question, he's saying Premier League, 4 teams, well, 5 last year if you look at Manchester United, but 4 teams qualified for the champs. Basically, champs is where it's all wants to be. We know Europa League in previous years it was a good standalone tournament. Nowadays, it really just is a Champions League for failures. On the basis that if it was the top 2, I mean, who's top 2 now in the league? Is City, United. If they were to get into the Champions League, that would mean Spurs, Liverpool, Chelsea, and us would be in Europa League. So if we apply that same logic, and obviously there's not, we can use that at Spanish clubs. One of Atletico Madrid, Barca, and Madrid would miss out. So that's good teams already filtered down before the knockout stages of the Europa League. So on that basis, you could say that. So yeah, I guess you could, to be honest with you. I wouldn't agree with it, but hard to knock on logic like that. And you've also got top 4 Premier League managers based on style, personality, man management, ability to develop players. Well, the Wenger of old, he's got to be first, and even this Wenger that needs to call it a day, he's still my favourite, man. I know he needs to call it a day, but I'm Wenger gang till I die, man. That doesn't mean Wenger don't need to step down, but Wenger gang, innit? So there's Wenger. Who else? Pep, who can't like Pep? There's 2. I must admit, Sean Dyche is growing on me, man. Like, he's a really likable person. I do think he's a bit too nice, a bit too Disney Channel-y at times, but his results, the way he galvanizes the side, the way they ride for him, regardless of if it's a top team or a League Two team. I applaud stuff like that. So I'll say probably Sean Dyche. I think Eddie Howe's incredibly overgassed, but I got a lot of time for Eddie Howe. I like the way he breeds confidence to his players. It's a tough one. I'm probably forgetting a couple man. Like, how can you not like Klopp? I guess it would be Klopp as well. Obviously, I got a soft spot for Jose. Chris Hughton's one of the brothers, so you got to say Chris Hughton. I know. I've gone ahead and said about 4 managers there, but you got to allow me, bro, man. I got ahead of myself. DMN9 asks, what album did you listen to last? All Eyes on Me, Tupac Broski, man. I'm going to listen to that after this. That was the last album. And you've also asked, would you welcome Adama Traore and Zaha at Arsenal? It's impossible because it's Arsenal, but please speak more about Adama, as I've heard you talk about Zaha before. I'd take Zaha, but we need someone that's going to hit the ground running. I'm not saying he can't. It's someone that's going to produce results. Zaha, similar to a lot of these players, there's question marks over has he hit his whole potential. He needs to be coached, etc. And with our current record of improving players and players coming here and being coached, it doesn't bond well. But I'm more inclined to take Zaha over Adama Traore. I think Adama can be a serious player, but like Deulofeu, they've shown why they're not at Barcelona, why they're not pushing the likes of Suarez and them man there to start at the club, and why they had to buy Dembele. He's got the pace, he's got the physical attributes, he's got the skills, but end product, you've got to get your head up. You've got to get your head up and produce games and assists. Last season, Middlesbrough, Adama Traore constantly tore Bella in a new one, but he didn't do anything because the end product wasn't there. At the end of the day, it's all about end product at the top level. Goals and assists win games. Goals win games. If you don't score goals, you don't win a football match, bro. So I wouldn't be inclined to take Adama Traore. And on top of that, in regards to him needing to develop, we've got Iwobi, regardless of what you're saying, he doesn't look a better player than when he first came through. Holding and Chambers aren't making the improvements at this club that we need to see. There's obviously other players here and there, past and present, and in the future there'll be. So it doesn't bond well bringing a player that's not the finished article. Because you already see players that are the finished article come here and lose some source. So that would be my take on that. Mr. Will Grigg asks, what are your favourite Arsenal kits released to date? First one, 04. I think I was like 7 years old. Thierry Henry. I'll call it the Thierry Henry kit. I don't know why, but it's the yellow one with the blue collar. Had my name on the back of that. That one without a doubt. The golden one a few years ago when we won at Old Trafford. Definitely. Mum never bought that one for me, but I always wanted that. Wanted to make my hair red as well. Mum wouldn't let me do that. Bare things in primary mum weren't allowed to do, but there's that. I'd say the 02, the red kit. 06, the away shirt, which we wore in the cup final, in the champs final. I actually want to say the blue kit, away kit this season and the third shirt, but I must admit I'm not too sure because I think they look nice on TV. I think they look nice in person, but then I start to think they're butters. There's a couple of I like the white kit. Do you remember when we beat AC Milan and Cesc scored a few years back? That kit. There's quite a few, man. A couple of the old schooler ones. The more back to Nike days and them things is the more you'll find me liking them. I'm not really feeling the Puma ones too tough. Apart from the ones I've just said. So yeah. Who else have we got? Igal Ibrahim asks, Robin Van Persie, can you consider him an Arsenal legend because he spent 8 years here, scored 96 goals in the Premier League in 194 games, 132 in total and 273. He still considers Arsenal his home, not United. What's your thoughts on this? He's not a come on now, bro. This ain't Disney Channel. He's not a legend. The term legend is thrown too lightly in football nowadays. Is he? Do Arsenal fans hold him in high regard? Do we understand why he went to Manchester United as much as it hurt? Yes, he tried to warn us. But you can hold him in high regard. You could, at a push, say icon status. He did win the FA Cup here in 2005, if I'm not mistaken. But legend, bro. Legend, really. One love to my guy Van Persie, but legend, definitely not. He can be a legend for you, and I'm not taking that away, but I wouldn't say he's a legend. If Van Persie, and it's nothing to do with ability, I mean, he scored against Barcelona. If Van Persie was sick, I mean, between the drag back and the nutmegs, he was 30 in the Charlton goal, but legend, I don't think so, bro. I mean, yeah, Ramsey probably be more of a closer to being a legend than Robin Van Persie can at this club at this current moment in time, regardless of the goals, to be honest with you. Mr. Wool, well, no, you've asked that, Mr. Woolgreg. Sorry, man, so good. I was going to answer it twice, man. Shout out to you, man. Ask another question. Swamps asks, we never replaced what Ox brought to the team. I mean, he didn't bring anything. I mean, you guys know I love Ox, but he plays for the Ops now, so agendas can start. But on a serious note, we've never replaced Ox, what he brought to the team when he left, and doubt we will do so through internal promotion. Another one. Do you think Adama Troare would be a good acquisition and option for the team? He's having a good season at Middlesbrough, and just like Ox, if he can get his end product sorted, brackets, which he's beginning to do so, then he'll be a great little player. That compact power, pace, dribbling skill is unplayable at times, and I don't see anyone near it in the team at the moment that has that. Well, bro, you said it, man. We said it. We all know we need that sort of winger that wants to take man on and stuff like that, and I've kind of answered this question. Adama Traore, if he had the ability, he would not be at Middlesbrough. I mean, he's got the ability. If he had the brain and the end product, and I say them terms lightly, I'm not trying to dig him, he wouldn't be at there. He'd be he'd be at one of the best teams in the world. I mean, like he said, pace, power. He's got all of that. For me now, and I must admit, I haven't been paying attention to him this season, but I'm pretty sure his end product might not be that great in terms of goals and assists. He needs to improve that in that aspect. The brain, the decision making, when to pass it, when not to overrun it, needs to improve. And on top of that, like I previously said, with that being said, and our rate of improving players of recent years, quite frankly, not being there. We have improved players more than people state, but we definitely haven't done it good enough, and it hasn't come on leaps and bounds. Can you really say he's going to impress? I mean, Chambers, I'm so sure Chambers joined the same season. Alexis Sanchez joined, different positions, of course, but does he look like any better player than that man that came through in his debut season? He actually looked better then. The only time you saw some real promise, and I love Chambers, but the only time you really saw some real him looking like that first season guy again was last year at Middlesbrough, actually playing under someone that knows how to defend, actually playing under a previous centre-back that wants to defend. No coincidence, he had a great partnership with Ben Gibson and then things like that. But that's off topic. You could say on the basis of pace and power, bring that in, but like you said, we're not going to bring it in. I personally have Oxmoor down as a central midfield option, even though he was playing on the flanks and at right back, so it's a bit different for me, but you definitely got some truth into that, Swamps, man. Big up yourself. You're always commenting and saying positive stuff. RP145 asks, for your Q&A, what do you think of Scott McTominay, the Manchester United defender? Midfielder? Do you think he could replace Michael Carrick, and should he play for Scotland/England? In regards to Scotland/England, only he could answer that, bro. I mean, Scotland is a very good footballing nation, regardless of if they're achieving stuff or not. They'll get behind you. Glorious nation to play for. The same goes for England. I mean, you're a Manchester United lad. You know what Manchester United means, so you know what world football means in general. So it's a choice he'd have to make. If I was him, I'd pick England, but it's up to him. I must admit, I haven't seen a great deal of him, but whenever I see him, he's just a calm, steady Eddie. He keeps the play ticking, continuity player, continuation player. Just keeps things going. Don't really draw any headlines. I actually saw him. Did we beat Man United one time, and he came off the bench, and they were saying how he had a growth spurt and stuff. That's when I started to pay attention. He did all right against Seville, to be honest with you. He held his own. Banega didn't really do anything. So he's doing his thing. It remains to be seen how good he can be. United fans know him more than me, so they could tell you how good he could be. For me, the Manchester United prospects I'm preying is that Chong guy. If he stays fully fit, he could be serious. Gribben. There's one defender, I forgot his name, Lard. There's a couple, man, like Gribben, if I haven't said it already. There's a couple United, man, that I'm preying, but I must admit he isn't one I've taken a lot of time to pre, but I mean, I'm all for young players getting the chance, and he must have been doing something right. If Jose, who hasn't got the best of records for giving kids a chance, most sure, certainly midfielders, if he's putting him ahead of Pogba or whatever, must be doing something right. Whether he's trying to make a point to Pogba, whether Pogba's injured, whether he just genuinely considers this a better option, we don't know. But credit to Scott in it for playing in it. He's at one of the biggest clubs in the world. They're trying to get back to winning the league. They've spent how much money? They've just brought in Alexis, different positions, I know, but on the basis that they can get whoever they want. They're linked with Jorginho and Seri and a lot of central midfield players. In fact, even Jose said they need one. So for him, as a central midfielder, to hear all of this and still be thriving and give Jose some sort of reason to trust you, whether we think he can be world-class or what, we have to give praise. So shout out to Scott for that. In regards to replacing Carrick, on the basis that he likes to keep things ticking, you could say yes, but I must admit, I see if I'm trying to replace the Carrick in his prime, that 08 Carrick, then you gotta do him a real justice and sign someone in their prime, innit? No disrespect to my man. Lastly, Ojo Allen asks, what do you think of Idris Gay, I can't say his name, and Ndidi? I think Ndidi's alright. I must admit, my opinion keeps changing. Sometimes I see a lot from him, and then I see him do stupid stuff, but he's 21. He's definitely going to join a better club than Leicester. No disrespect to them, because they've won the league before, and more recently they're not. But I've got a lot of time for him. In regards to Gay, must admit, I'd rather Ndidi, to be honest with you, at this current moment in time. And Gay's alright, he can win the ball back and stuff. I rate them both, to be honest with you. But if you're asking me to pick one, if I had to buy one, Gay's probably the more consistent option if I'm honest, but I'd rather Ndidi. So yeah, that's the Q&A done, people. Thank you very much for your questions. As usual, it means the world. Get in the comments, because Friday, we are on Friday, I'm bugging out. Sunday, we go again. And Sunday, for those who don't know, it's Arsenal versus City. So get in the comments with the questions, man. Hit me up. We got to go hard. I'm out. Deluded.